Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Football Brief. I'm your host, Aaron, all the way over in New York City. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Brad, over in sunny Manchester. Happy New Year, everybody. This is the first Football Brief since the turn of the year. Hoping you all had a great Christmas and a good start to the year. Brad, how you doing, bro? What's the new year held for you so far?
I was going to say then when you said Happy New Year, is it United sitting 15th in the table, 16th of Jan, is it? Where
Where are you in the table?
15th, sorry, not 16th, but yeah, we're 15th.
15th in the table.
Yeah, so I said, sorry, 15th, but on the 16th of Jan, yeah, 15th in the table.
Manchester United sit 5th. You play tonight though, so that could change, or you locked down there for a bit.
No, we play Southampton tonight, bag that, easy 3 points. They're on Derby matching records here, 11 points, lowest ever record for a Premier League season, and they're close, man. They've won one game. If we win tonight, we're jumping up to like 14.
I mean, results. If we're talking about a new year and we're talking about our teams, Villa had a very, very mixed bag. I was actually back in the UK for the Man City game. I was there, and a Morgan Rogers masterclass. What a game! What a result! And you thought, okay, start of the Christmas season, we're going to be hitting the heights. Got slapped at Newcastle. Then we got
7th though, man.
No, we are now. Yeah, no. Look, I'm saying like we've sort of eased out of our slump. We got a good win against Everton yesterday. Thank you very much, Goodison Park. It's been a pleasure. Going to miss, just taking points after points after points there. But We'll
have to run that stat. You've had 6 points off them 2 seasons in a row now, haven't you? So I'd be interested to see how many points you've had off them in like the last 10 seasons or something. We'll have to have a look at that.
To be honest, I actually think it wasn't long ago. There was a stat I saw. I think up until maybe Emery took over that. I think on the head-to-head, they had actually accumulated more points. But since Emery took over, or even though the last 5 or 6 years, might just be just before he took over, we've eclipsed that now. So we're now ahead on the points in the head-to-head. Nice. So Everton, always welcome Everton, because we just know it's a guaranteed 6-pointer.
Well, look, no, to be fair, you guys have come out. You're in a bit of a slump, but you've got good players as well, and you've got Unai, so there's that security blanket there. If we win tonight, all jokes aside, we will go 12th.
Sorry.
We'll go 12th above West Ham on goal difference. Because not because we've got a positive goal difference, but because we've got -5 and West Ham have got -14. So,
but you know what? That does raise a question though. What do you think it is? Because I know you're down there at the minute and you're not playing great, but look at the table. Look at your likes of Bournemouth, Fulham, Forest, West Ham. Like, is that the Premier League becoming more competitive, or is that just is it better coaches that are now in the league? Like, what do you think it is?
I think it's a mixture. Yeah, I think the quality of football is always increasing. I also think we're getting better coaches. I mean, the Bournemouth coach is great. Fulham, look at Forest, what Nuno's done. Like, it's Brighton have always been a good club in terms of, it doesn't matter who really manages them. They're just on a kind of continuous improvement since they entered the Premier League. So got a great model. But yeah, I think it's a mix of everything, to be honest. And also the fact that some of the bigger clubs, or the expected bigger clubs, are not doing as well as they should. The likes of United 15th, Spurs 13th, Man City 6th. So there's a few variables, but it's been an interesting season so far. I think we may yet see Nottingham Forest steal a top 4 place.
On that, I just want to, as it's the new year, and we just before the turn of the year, we both did a hot take each. And I'll remind fans out there that your hot take was that Nottingham Forest are going to finish in the top 4 quite comfortably, and will get that Champions League place. I disagreed, and I said they're going to drop off at some point. I thought maybe by Christmas they'll be down to like 7th, 8th, sort of where we are. My hot take was that Chelsea are going to go on a an unbeaten streak of matches, sorry, and were going to win the league. I thought Liverpool would drop off. As it stands, your hot take isn't so hot. Forest are out there just slapping up everybody, and Chelsea have actually dropped off. So still a long way to go, but it seems as though your predictions are ringing truer than mine. You also asked me if Ange Postecoglou, sorry, Ange has no clue. Ange Postecoglou, sorry. You asked me if he was going to stay in charge for the remainder of the season, and I said yes. Like, there's no way he's going to get sacked because, I think Tottenham have learned, hopefully would have learned from their mistakes of sacking managers too early previously. However, things are looking a bit shaky for Big Ange, especially after yesterday's defeat in the North London derby.
I think so. You think
he's gone?
I don't think he makes the end of the season. I stand by that still. Grumblings that we're hearing on the likes of TalkSport and comments on the various socials is that Spurs fans aren't particularly happy.
What do they want though? I don't. What happy with what? What is it they're not happy with?
I suppose, look, you've got to look back at some of their results, and they've been, 2-3 goals ahead, and then let that lead go because Ange has been unwilling to change and be slightly more pragmatic or make a more defensive substitution rather than just going all-out attack for 90 or 100 minutes during the entirety of the game. And it does leave spaces and gaps open. So, you are easy or easier to attack against at times because there's space there for the forwards of the opposition to run into. So I think that's where the frustrations come in. And now more so because, the football isn't particularly that great either to be watching. That's dropped off a bit and the quality levels have gone down. It's not as exciting as it was, say, 10, 12 games ago. So, I think he's under some pressure now. And the loss of the derby, not good at all. But speaking of drop-offs, I think Liverpool as well, they're going under the radar because they're doing really well. Arne Slot's done fantastically for his first season. But they've drawn 4 out of the last 8 games.
Have they?
That's kind of going under the radar. Well, yeah, they played Newcastle. That was 3-3. They drew 2-2 against Fulham. United, they drew 2-2. And then they drew 1-1 against Forest is the last game. So, that's 4 out of the last 8 games. That's all draws.
Do you think they are? Do you think the title's theirs? Do you think it's theirs to lose, or do you think that this dip in form is going to continue? I have to say, I've noticed Arne Slot has been a bit more prickly in the media. There was a lot of comparisons from Forest fans. I saw Forest fans on Twitter, X, whatever, and they were comparing Arne Slot to Klopp because he was making excuses about, I think he came out saying, well, the amount of money that Forest spent, they should be there, which it was a bit, I don't know if it was a bit tongue in cheek, but it was almost like, well, no, they've not been in the season, they've not been in the league for how many years now. So yeah, they have a right to spend money to try and catch up with the big boys. Like, you guys have been there consistently forever and you've spent big. So there's a bit of that in the media from Arne Slot, which I know I don't know him fully yet as a manager and how he comes across in the media because he's obviously new to the league. But I thought he was a bit more classy than that, which is a bit of a dig. I thought
it probably was, but I quite like him. I think he's pretty direct. He just says it how it is. He's obviously got a great tactical brain on him. We've seen that from interviews where he's delving into how he broke down the opposition. And it's easy to point fingers when he doesn't get necessarily the wins. But they are just draws. He has got a point. They did get breached last. They were in breach of PSR rules last season, and did get a points deduction. So, that has to be that has to be worth something, right? If you're going to break the rules and overspend, then you sure as hell need to make sure it counts. Which they have done. So kudos. I don't think any of us thought they'd be quite where they are, but they're doing really well. But no, I like him. I just think he's pretty direct. He said it kind of similar when everybody was saying, "Oh, is Trent being distracted?" It was when he played against United. Is Trent being distracted by the Real Madrid talks? And he just said, when he plays really well, we don't talk about distractions. It's, it's just because we haven't come out with the win, essentially. So,
I
think
agree though with that. I thought the
the
jump on Trent was fairly unnecessary. I thought Man United played very well. I thought they took that away from Man United's performance, to be honest. But I also thought like,
he had a slightly off game,
yeah,
but
but who doesn't? Like, do you know what I
exactly,
mean?
you're
I feel like
allowed.
when Trent, again the bashing of young, I say young. Oh yeah, he's fairly young, but English talent is really annoying from an English point of view. There was plenty of other players, possibly foreign players, that weren't playing so well, but we don't bash them, do we? And I get, because he's homegrown, we're going to be a bit more critical. But it's like we know he's not the best defender. We know this. We don't need to bring it up every time. Like, actually, why don't we praise Man United and Ruben Amorim for actually setting up well and exploiting him to a point?
Big specialist.
Big game specialist. I've noticed. I've not heard you say "sir" for a while. So Ruben, is he? This title keeps sort of seems to be waxing and waning.
Yeah, it's more on the waning side at the moment. But he's got to earn that back. The team have got to earn that back. I'm seeing signs of it. Maybe he can have the S. Maybe it's S Amarim for now. You get the rest of the letters. But to answer your question, do I think the league's Liverpool's? You've got to think their game in hand against Everton. So that's another 3 points. So they are what 4 points ahead at the moment. So really, they're 7 points ahead. No, strange
we,
things.
we've
We've
seen
got
bigger
18 games,
yeah,
19 games left. I think it's yet to be decided.
yeah. We've seen bigger leads
Chomped down.
get chopped down. Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I don't think it's theirs per se, and I think Arne Slot's going to have a bit of a welcome to the Premier League. I always think the second half of the season, teams who know the league and who understand, the sort of squad rotation and the management of in game, I think you're going to start to see a bit of a shift in that top four. Just quickly, you mentioned Forest then with the Liverpool and PSR. It's obviously been the news has broke, I think, yesterday that all teams are completely fine with PSR. As a Villa fan, I don't really know what I expected. I knew that we would be compliant because obviously there's a big hoo-ha about us having to sell two of our best players last season. But I don't know, I was a bit disappointed, and maybe this is wrong of me to say this, that no clubs are found guilty when we've actively been, trying to wheel and deal to make sure we're okay. And I'm pretty sure there were other clubs in dire situations and nothing's happened. Everyone's clean, everyone's good. Which I guess is fair play. People are understanding the terrain more now with PSR, but I thought there was at least a Leicester in there or somebody, maybe an Everton, that needed to be docked points or there needed to be a conversation had. I don't know if you know more than me, but
No. Leicester got away with their points deduction through a loophole, through having gone down and come back up. So theirs was slightly different. But yeah, all the other clubs, all 20 clubs being compliant. I think clubs have just got wise to it now. They've
no.
seen Everton and Forest get the deductions. They're like, we don't want a piece of that. They've got an idea now of what the points deductions are going to be as well, for how much the overspend is if we use Everton and Forest as the case studies and the examples from there. So I think they've got wise to it. And if you remember, which I'm still not sure there won't be kind of an investigation or an inquiry into, we had a little group of teams during the summer, before the June deadline for the accounts, all doing little trades with each other. So I'm not sure that was completely legit. I'm not going to lie to you. Even the fact that Dougie's coming back to the Prem so quickly.
Possibly, yeah. There's a lot of links, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, just to me, there's something a bit off about that. But we'll see. We'll see over the course of time. No, I think that's a lot of it was that whilst you were breaking your balls, I think there were a fair few other clubs doing exactly the same thing.
Just for context, yeah, Aston Villa, Chelsea, Everton, we're doing a lot of the three clubs. They're the three that spring to mind. I'm sure there was more.
I think Forest might have even got involved. I think they might have dipped in
they
and
get
got
involved. There was a lot of
Brentford,
wheeling and
maybe.
dealing within,
Yeah.
like we were selling Chelsea players. They were then giving us a player. Same with who was the other team that I mentioned? Chelsea, Villa, and what did I say? And Everton, yeah. And so the players are going back and forth. And I remember at the time we were saying, this doesn't seem that legit, does it? But it seems like it just seems like a massive loophole. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
we've seen a loophole, we'll exploit it. So we'll see. There might be some ramifications for that, but I mean, I don't know, the fact that it's all been passed
So
now
then there
when
will be.
the accounts are done, it's like, well, maybe it's fine. They might just sort of try and tighten up on that, maybe the Premier League, but the Premier League don't know what they're doing at the minute anyway, do they? So I mean, I wouldn't.
I was going to say, speaking of accounts being done, allegedly, when are we going to hear about City?
What have you so yeah, Manchester City, the famous 115 charges. We do know everything's sort of done and dusted in terms of the hearing. It's now basically the deciding factor on what the whether they're innocent or guilty. Do you have any idea about the time frame?
No idea. Early this year is all that it's been reported, all that I can hear and find out. So we're being told that early this year there will be a decision made. And look, as we know, 115 alleged charges. Some of them are minor. You know, there's some there that aren't important. There are others that are a bit more serious. That if they get found guilty of, then there's going to have to be some pretty serious points deductions. But yeah, we'll see. Should be, like I say, early this year. So
all anybody wants to know is, if these allegations are true and if the serious ones they have committed, are they going to get relegated to like 2 leagues? That's what everyone wants to know.
I think they will. I think they will. So, I mean, to break it down, you've got 115 charges or 130, whatever it might be, from 2009 to 2023. There's some of them that are fairly minor. So like failure to cooperate with Premier League investigations, failure to provide, failure to cooperate with Premier League investigations and non-compliance with UEFA's FFP regulations. I mean, they're not major. Even the breaches of the Premier League's PSR rules, that's not major either. You're looking at minimal points deductions for those. The really important charges that if they get found guilty on pretty much any of them are the failure to provide accurate details of player and manager payments, which is basically paying people under the table when we were hearing about villas and things being bought for managers and being paid off the books from different accounts, then that's what that refers to, which is basically fraudulent. And apparently there are 14 alleged instances of that between 2009 to 2018. Then the other one is failure to provide accurate financial information, and there's allegedly 54 instances of that between 2009 and 2018, and that concerns the club revenue, sponsorship income, and operating costs. That's basically financial fraud. So those two are the main ones. The non-compliance with UEFA, the breach of PSR, and the failure to cooperate with Premier League investigations are, there's probably between those charges, maybe you can take 40, 50 of the charges out because those aren't really that bad. There'll be a minimal points deduction. But either of the other two, yeah. I mean, outside of a footballing scenario, you could possibly be looking at jail time for an individual for that kind of financial fraud. So I think it would have to be a very serious points deduction and demote them down. So
it's mad though, isn't it? Because usually with these things, you sort of hear little rumours or snippets or something to gain an idea of the outcome, but this is locked tight, as you'd expect, being a serious case and obviously involving the people that it involves. So I think it's going to be one of these random days in several months' time where everyone's going about their business and all of a sudden it's like breaking news, Man City, blah 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 blah, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, okay. The only thing that does, the only bit of inkling that I've got or we've got is that Pep signed a 2-year extension not long ago. Now, to me, that either means that he's just very defiant and arrogant in his approach to Man City and saying, look, I'm gonna be here whether we're innocent or guilty. I'm gonna stick it through. Or he has an idea that they're going to be okay and that he's happy to commit his sort of immediate future to the club. So that's sort of all I've heard and all I've got to really go off.
I don't know, man. That guy's semi all over the place at the minute. He's not in a good spot personally or professionally. So
there's a divorce I heard happening. A divorce, which the media's now jumping on saying, is this why Man City aren't playing so well because of Pep's divorce? It's like, bloody hell.
Look, maybe Pep wants to win League Two. Maybe that's something that he's got on his bucket list is win League Two of the English football triangle. So No, seriously. Yeah, look, City have been through a tricky patch. Pep has got obviously a few things going on in his personal life, which I don't
That's
want to
life,
give
though,
to.
isn't it? We all have our own. We all have our own things to deal with, and and look, that's nothing against Pep and his situation, but it's like I'm not one for, adversity. We all have adversity and these excuses.
No, not excuses. My point being that if there's a few things going on around Pep at the moment in his personal life, the 2-year extension with Man City isn't that surprising because
Just more
that's
security.
security for him, yeah, and clearly, there's been things going on in the background now. So,
And I guess if divorce, divorce always means financial settlements, doesn't it? So maybe it guarantees that he's not going to get completely rinsed. I don't know. Did he sign that prenup? I don't know.
yeah, so we'll see what happens. But early this year, we're hearing early this year.
Um,
Quick one for you.
Go on.
So, seeing as we're in the transfer window, ooh, exciting.
Ooh.
3 Villa players, right? Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, John Duran. Also, spell your name properly, man. Like, what's with the H the wrong way around,
Whoa,
John?
whoa! He's Colombian,
Sort it
man.
out.
South American Colombian. Don't be hating on different cultures.
All right. So Rogers, Watkins, or John Haran, keep, loan, and sell one of each of them. Who you keeping?
Ooh, that's a
Who
good
you
question.
loaning out? Who you selling?
Is it going to be a deep enough question where, like, money, the money that we get for certain players is going to help Villa in the long run? Is it going to be that deep, or is it just simple as?
No, you've got to tell me which player you'll sell, and I'll tell you how much you'll get for them once you've made the decision. Okay, in fact, let's put that down now.
That's nice then, because
I'll give you. Yeah, because then you can make an informed decision on how much
I
you get.
I already know who's going to be worth the most in my eye. Well, actually, it's Durant. Well, we already said if Durant's going to go, it's going to be in excess of about 100 million euros, which I think equates to about 80 million pounds. So he's just on the new contract. He's in demand, so we can play a lot of teams want him. So we could get a lot of money. Young Morgan Rogers, Ollie Watkins, no. So in terms of selling, I wouldn't sell Watkins. I don't think it's between Rogers and Duran for money. But I think at the minute, I think Duran's more valuable than Rogers. Although I like Rogers and I think he's got potential. Duran's the one that gets the goals and he's proven it on multiple different stages.
Gonna sell a local lad, if he is a baggy.
You have to mention baggies, don't you? You're still gonna. I wonder when you're gonna explain to the audience why you're mentioning baggies. Do I think sell Duran?
Right, you getting
Keep Rogers, loan Watkins.
You getting 70 mil for Duran. 60, 65. You're getting 65 for Duran if you're selling him. You're still selling him.
Where are you plucking these numbers out?
You're not getting 100 mil for Duran.
No, I said 100 million euros, which equates to about 80 million. I reckon we can get.
Sorry, Darren Ben. I only deal in euros.
I reckon we can get 80 mil for him for Duran.
70 mil. You get 70 mil from him. You're still selling him at 70 mil.
Sorry, who are you? Like, why are you all of a sudden the bearer of like financial, Villa's financial stats with players? Like, what are you on about? Where are you getting these prices from?
Villa financial stats. Oh man, I'm the bursar. I'm coming in with the purse strings. Yeah.
Okay, go on. Carry on.
That's the game. That's the game. That is the game. I said it at the start. I'll tell you the offer of what you're getting to see if that sways your decision.
All right. Sorry,
you're getting 70 million for Durant. Are you still selling him?
Yeah.
To be fair, look, Rogers is a local lad, man. He is a local lad.
I don't care if he's local, but I'm thinking for this game, I think I'd keep Rogers and I'd loan Watkins.
I don't disagree. Well done. Wow.
You don't disagree with that? If we're looking at money-wise, Watkins...
I do. I do disagree. I think I'd have to
sell Rogers.
No, I'd keep Rogers and Duran, unfortunately, because I look at Duran and I think 15 plus goals a season for you at the moment, the way he's producing.
No, I want to keep Duran, but yeah, but
I look at Rogers and he's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. He's good defensively. I'm not saying Watkins isn't. He's both of those things, but not to the level that those two do it. And I think if you could
I
get
think
for
Watkins.
40 million, 50 million for Watkins.
No, he'd easily go for. Yeah, no, that's that. I mean, I think there's argument for both. To be fair, that's a really good question though.
It's a tough one, isn't it? I know. I just thought about it driving home the other day.
That's a very good. I do like that.
A little mention for London, the London clubs.
Why?
London
They get too much
forever.
airtime. These bloody London clubs.
Yeah. Well,
Talk about.
Spurs lost yesterday, obviously. West Ham, horsey them so far. Got Graham Potter in.
But
Do you
Potter.
think he'll turn them around?
Well, they won. They won yesterday. The day before, didn't they? They won.
Yep.
They got the first win. So he. Do you know what's funny?
3-2 against Fulham.
Just a little West Ham stat for you. So Lopetegui's first game in charge for West Ham was against Aston Villa, start of the season, lost 2-1. Graham Potter comes in. First game for Graham Potter was against Aston Villa FA Cup fourth round, third round, whatever it was, lost 2-1. So just a little cheeky stat there. I think West Ham will be okay. I think Graham Potter's just assured. He's come back a bit like a man with a point to prove, I think. West Ham are doing all right. Fulham are still thereabout. Fulham is a hard team to play against. I don't think they're going to be. I think they'll miss out on like a Europa spot, but I think they're going to be in the top 10, and they're just going to be a difficult team to break down and play. Just solid. Mm-hmm. They're fairly consistent, to be fair. Fulham probably the most consistent team actually in many ways.
I think so. At Arsenal, I don't think they're winning anything this year. Pleased that they're out the FA Cup. Oh, pleased, are you? Pleased that United beat you so that they can focus on the real competitions. They're not going to win the Premier League. Forest have got more chance of winning it than them. And I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. They're miles off that. So, also interesting, just mentioning Forest, they have got the lowest percentage of possession in the league this season.
Mate, and I can see what. I mean, I watched the game yesterday against Liverpool, or the day before, sorry. They weren't they were bang average. Don't get me wrong, they were set up well and their counter is good, but like they weren't anything to you wouldn't look at them and think, oh, they're like second in the league. Do you know what I mean? It was just because Liverpool.
The football doesn't look. It's not nice to look at on the eye but they're very comfortable not having the ball, which is really hard skill.
They're very industrious, so they work hard. I think I text you saying that Elliot Anderson for them, the number 8, absolute just dogged man, gets in and amongst it. Chris Wood, ruffles up defenders, works hard. You've got their defender, Murillo, the number 5 for them. Their centre back again works hard, doesn't take any crap from anybody. So their back line's solid. Their midfield just works hard. And then you've got that front three: Hudson-Odoi, Elanga, and then you've got Gibbs-White as well. Those three are on
pace on the break.
Exactly. Just so, and they all work hard to get back as well. So I think Nuno's really instilled that defensive side to them all. And so they're comfortable with that. And then once they get the chance to break, they just go. And at the minute, Chris Wood just can't miss, which helps. So, but again, so they're not, it's nothing special, but what they're doing is effective. And you got to give that to Nuno and the squad for believing, man.
Yeah, and their keeper's got the most clean sheets this season as well. So
he was very good against Liverpool. He was very good, the keeper.
Honestly, absolutely brilliant. I think as a team, they're just doing really well. But it just interested me when I saw that. I thought, well,
that's a good stat. I've got a bit of a bugbear that's been annoying me since before Christmas now, but we've not spoken. Gareth Southgate. Sorry, Sir Gareth Southgate.
What for, man? What for? Like, what? Do I just open my front door and say thanks to the postman now for delivering my mail, and the next thing he's Sir Postman? Like, what do you have to do? Absolutely nothing to get a knighthood in this country now. It's a farce. He's done absolutely nothing. Got us to a couple of finals. Never going to win them. Jesus.
And thank you. Exactly that. That's my point. When I saw that he was on the list, the honours list, I was like, hey, so all you have to do is now try and change the culture in a club or a business setting, and then you get knighted. I don't understand if he'd won the World Cup or won a Euros, then I'd understand more.
Exactly.
But
You think about the team of '66 that won it. The Jeff Hurst. You're devaluing their knighthood they went and won the bloody thing. You're giving him one for trying. Oh, you tried. Go on then. Here's a knighthood.
this
Get
is what I don't
ripped,
need. Like, I
the
don't
UK.
get it. Is it for services? Because obviously he was at the under-21s first. But even so, like, so
What? Because
what?
he's an FA rent boy then. So
Basically,
he gets it. Yeah, great.
yeah. I mean, the F. Yeah. So I mean, that really, I don't know. I did not understand that, and I thought that was just we're just handing out knighthoods now for free, essentially. So yeah.
Open the window, man. Just chucking knighthoods out the street. Come and collect. Come on, get your knighthood.
Yeah, I really don't. I
Ridiculous.
don't get it. So we'll see. So I mean, Tuchel basically just needs to. So I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
Also, the Tuchel thing's annoyed me now. I've come full circle, and if we win anything under Tuchel, I'm not going to feel like it's a real win.
Oh, what?
I'm not. I've decided. I'm not. I'm not because we've not done it. We're meant to be England. We've not done it with an English coach. Is that how much of a poor show of faith is that to English coaches? We should have gone all out for Potter or Eddie
Eddie
Howe.
Howe.
We should have got an English manager in it. I didn't mind at first. I thought best man for the job, but on reflection, I think actually, if let's say we do go and beat a Germany, a France, an Italy in the final of the Euros when it's on our home soil. I know he's only got a contract to the World Cup, but let's say he stays on and, because that's our probably most realistic chance for trophy is when, Ireland and the UK host the 2028 Euros. So if he's in charge, then I don't know. I just think it'll feel like a bit of an empty win because then he'll go on and do that with, let's say, Germany. And let's say he wins something with Germany. Do you still feel as good about England's win then?
No, look, I mean, I disagree with that. I think I still stick by the best man for the job, who was out there at the time, who was ready. The more, look, the more I see of Eddie Howe and the more I hear him on these podcasts or interviews and just looking at his squads, I do think he is the next man. I do think he would have been a bit too soon for him. I think the FA may be biding their time, and there might have been conversations where it's like, okay, well, we do want you eventually, so maybe
They didn't even speak to him. He did an
yeah,
interview, and
but
that's what it
the
stinks.
confidentiality. You don't know that though. I don't know how true these conversations are. But no, look, if Tuchel wins, then we've won. And actually, if anything, as aspiring English managers out there, they should be looking at that thinking, do you know what? Like, wow, this is semi-embarrassing. Like, we need to step up now and actually do something. The highest placed manager we've got in the Premier League at the minute is Eddie Howe with Newcastle, who now sit in fourth because they're slapping up teams left, right, and centre. And other than that, like you say, I wasn't sold on Potter, but he was free. I'm like, oh yeah, Graham Potter could do it. But even then, he would be another sort of Gareth Southgate. I think Eddie Howe's got a bit more about him, man. Eddie Howe's dealing with the richest club in the world, and he's dealing with these owners absolutely fine. Do you know what I mean? So he's not going to be phased and won't be pushed around by the FA. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's why they didn't speak to him because they know that. I don't know, but the FA need to get rid of this sort of this notion that they're going to be that they're the be all end all, and they managers need to listen and do what they say, because if they want to win anything, they need to have a bit of a maverick, which is why Tuchel's an interesting appointment. Yes, he's not English, but he certainly breaks the mold of managers that they've gone for. So I don't know. I'm still happy. I like Tuchel. I'm always been a big Tuchel fan. I don't care where you're from, to be honest with you. As long as if you win with that country, you win. Like, that's how.
Hey, cool story as well. So years ago, when it would have been Dortmund, or would it have been Bayern Juniors, where Pep Guardiola was as well.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, so it would have been Bayern. So Tuchel would have been managing Bayern B team or something. And have you heard the story about when they sat there one night, had a few drinks, and they got like all these different things on the table, started moving them and discussing tactics and moving salt and Pep. Tuchel and Pep Guardiola. And I watched a documentary about Tuchel coming into the England job and kind of his background, and it mentioned this story, and I just thought that was really insightful, that actually somebody of Pep Guardiola's caliber and success obviously saw a lot in Thomas Tuchel, even at that very young age, because he didn't really play, did he? Either he got knee injuries quite early on and couldn't play, so he went very early on into management and absolutely smashed it every club he was at. So yeah, he obviously got a show of confidence there from Pep, which I just thought was a nice touch from him.
And I do like as well with Tuchel, it's very well known that he's very fond of the English culture. He loves England. He said that before he got appointed. He's just, he's always wanted to manage in the Premier League. And I think he still has a house here, say here, I'm in America, but over there.
Do you not think it's a bit of a juxtaposition for him as well, though? Let's say we get to a semi-final of a World Cup or Euros, whatever, and we are against Germany. And this is from a personal point of view now. Does that not put him in an awful situation where he can't win? Because if England win, he's going to be vilified by his home country. And if Germany win, he's going to be vilified by the British media.
Yeah, no, but he would have gone into this job knowing that. That's always a possibility, and that's something you have to just take. He would have definitely weighed that up in his mind. But I feel like he's strong enough to think, well, what will be will be. Like, I think the England job is up there with sort of like your Brazils, Spain, maybe. Like, there's certain nations that you want to manage, right?
Is it?
Yeah,
is it?
Sure.
No. How many World Cups have Brazil won? How many Euros has Spain won?
It's not about the cups. I'm on about like the prestige of a country. Of like, you look at Brazil, you Spain, England. Like, as a manager, you think, yeah, I'd love to manage one of those clubs, like one of those international clubs one day, because they're just massive. Like, even though England haven't won much, what England represents as a country and what it means to football is massive. Spain, again, they have won things, but also like as a culture and as like a footballing nation, are big, And I sort of, so in that sort of bracket, I'm not comparing England to Brazil in terms of accolades or what they've won, because England are nowhere near. Like, England can't even tie Brazil's shoelaces in that respect. But their jobs are hard to turn down. Do you know what I mean? Their jobs, if they come knocking on your door, it's hard to turn down those international jobs, I think.
I don't know. I think most international teams would hire a national anyway. I think most of them wouldn't even consider hiring an English person, for example.
Jamaica just hired Steve McLaren.
Slightly different. Jamaica rarely qualify for anything serious, but could you imagine France, Spain, Germany, Belgium even going out and hiring an English manager? No, I can't see that. So I think, yeah, okay, they're kind of the prestige clubs, but I think most managers would aspire to manage their home country. I think that's the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, no, I agree with you with that. No, definitely. Most English managers, you look at like the pinnacle, they're thinking, I want to manage in the Premier League, Champions League, and then like, I would love to manage my country. No, for sure. But also I think, it's always hard to turn down if like a national team with some prestige comes knocking at your door. It's like, it's not just straight nah. It's like, ooh.
And he knows a lot of the players as well.
But I can see why there's been a split between yes and no for him, and you've outlined very, very good reasons why people might be a bit against it, and I think it's a good argument. I think there's definitely legs for both. End of the day, if England win a trophy under him, I don't care. I think if we win, we win. That's all I really care about. I want another star on.
Are we going to win the World Cup? Are we? What do you think, man? Come on, are we going to win the World Cup? We're not. He's only got a contract till just after the World Cup. Do you know what,
though? There's a mature... I spoke to you about this before separately. I think in years gone by, as I'm looking at the squad now in England, I'm looking at generation of players coming through. The last generation of players, where I spoke about like your Sanchos, your Grealish, your Lingards, your Rashfords, attitude problems, too much money too early, not managed correctly, Whereas I look at these new sort of stars, like your Declan Rice, your Bellinghams, your Rodgers, your Cole Palmers, Saka's, they seem a lot more grounded, a lot more mature. I'm going to put Phil Foden in the previous one with the Grealish. I just think that generation, and nothing against them, but I just think there's a maturity that they lack. You've got Grealish talking about booking Ibiza before they've even kicked the ball in the final. It's like, that's not the attitude I really want from.
I hear the plane was already booked.
Yeah, well, there you go. But I look at this new generation of players coming through, the experience with Tuchel as well. It could be a real good blend. A bit of experience thrown in, I think. And again, don't judge me. I've watched Harry Maguire for Man United the last several games, and I think to have someone like him in England as well, you need a couple of older heads. If he's in the back line, sort of being assured, and you've got then the younger ones around him, or even if he's in the squad, like I'm not against that, because I think you need that blend, and I think Tuchel would hopefully see that. I look at his Chelsea team, what he did. He won the Champions League with Kai Havertz and Timo Werner up front. I'm sorry, like they're both awful. So like, answer your question? Do I think we will win it or can win it? What was the question?
Will we win it? Are we going to win it? We're not. I don't think. But what do you
World Cup's
think?
a different, man. No. I just look at these South American teams, man, and I don't know, like European teams are one thing, but South American, you gotta have a bit of fight, a bit of grit about you. And I think I don't know, have we got that in us yet? Maybe. I'd like to prove wrong, but I don't think we win the World Cup. Do I think we can win the following Euros? Yeah.
Potentially, again, depends on where the players. I mean, you're talking three and a bit years down the line here. So the players you've just mentioned, the Saka, the Rice, the Bellinghams, even the Branthwaites and all that, they'll be more experienced. It might not necessarily turn out to be a good thing.
Branthwaite, I wasn't impressed with him yesterday.
Players can go up or down, can't they? So
yeah. So I don't know. I wouldn't be. I'm not. I think Southgate sort of, although he's given us England back in many ways, we're a lot more connected. By the time he left, I did feel a bit more disconnected, and I don't really know where we're at. So I don't quite know. And with Tuchel,
and the football was boring as well, man. Like,
and that's the thing. We don't know.
Football.
We don't know what. We need to see what squad Tuchel's gonna pick. And I don't know. I think we could be up there with a shout. Genuinely, not just saying it because we're England, but I genuinely believe that with the players that we've got, I know we say this all the time, but I do think there's a difference in mentality this time around that we've not had in previous years, which may have sort of hampered us slightly before.
Already not looking forward to the tournament. At least it'll be. Oh no, it'll be another winter one, won't it? Great.
Are you going to make your way over here?
Yeah, I probably will do. You're going to get some tickets sorted for us.
I will try. I've got a loose connection who works at New York City FC. I've been speaking to the last sort of week or so.
NYCFC.
Man City's club over here.
Yeah, send us some tickets, Man City. God, you got more money than God.
So I'm going to try and see if I can sort of get in there and see what's going on. But yeah, no, it'll be a good atmosphere around as well. They love.
Are they playing any games there in New York or in and around New York State?
Well, the final's going to be in. This is the thing. So fans don't be deluded because they say the final's in New York. The stadium's actually in New Jersey, which is most New Yorkers hate people from New Jersey. I don't know, just a bit of a beef there. But New Jersey, it's not too far. But the final is going to be held in New Jersey. So
why have they got beef? Do the New Jersey people not like New Yorkers, or is it just a one-way hate street?
The way around, yeah.
So it's just a one-way thing. The New Yorkers,
yeah. It's a one-way thing, and I mean, I've been, yeah. The good thing about New Jersey is though they still fill up your gas for you. So probably petrol. My Americanism's coming out there.
Becoming Yankeefied.
I know, yeah. So no, but look, it'll be a good tournament regardless. And the Americans, one thing they do is they do put on a show because everything's lights and fanfare and drama. So, yeah.
Do you want to make a prediction? Do you want to reassess your top 4 prediction? Seeing as we're in January now.
Not particularly, but I will.
Do you remember what you said last time? Because I don't.
Well, I had Chelsea to win. I think I had Liverpool, Arsenal, and then did I put
City? You'd have had City in there.
Or did I put Villa in there? I don't know. I wouldn't have put Villa in there. I think I had Villa as 6th.
I don't think you had Arsenal. I think you had Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and maybe you did have Arsenal as well.
I think I had Arsenal, yeah. Because I think Arsenal will still be in the top 4 as much as
I
like them.
Doesn't need to be in order, but you can give me the top 2 if you want. Actually, yeah, it does need to be in order. Actually, give me an order.
Oh, jeez. Liverpool.
Yeah.
Arsenal.
Okay.
Newcastle.
Wow. Okay.
See.
Ooh, that's interesting. So you don't you don't obviously think Forest are going to hang around, but also Chelsea, you don't see them pressing back into top four. Chelsea, no.
I don't think Forest will be, but I don't think they'll. I think they will drop, but not as low as I had them. I said 7-8. They could be 5-6 Forest the way they're going on. I just think they're going to drop. There's a drop there. It's coming. It is coming. I would love them to be in the top four. I really would, because I think it's great for the league. And if they got Champions League, amazing. Forest are a massive club. So I would really love them to be. So it's nothing about me not liking them or not wanting them to. You asked for a prediction, and that's what I'm thinking is going to happen. Chelsea are flaky at the minute. They've really done me over, Chelsea. And I don't know. I don't know much about this Maresca. Leicester fans were a bit critical of him. I mean, I know he got promoted, but they did say there was sort of hints that, you know, he wasn't all that. So I don't know. That's my top four. What about you?
I hate to say it, but I think Liverpool win it. I think City come second.
Ooh, they're going to climb?
Yeah, I think Chelsea come third, and I think Forest come fourth.
I can see that. And
I think Arsenal drop off. I think they
so you don't think Arsenal made top four, and I don't think Chelsea made top four now.
I don't think Arsenal make top four, and I think Arteta gets sacked at the end of the season. And seeing as Ange is on his way out, and I was right about that, then I'm probably going to be right about this as well.
But Ange isn't on his way out. And just for the record,
Ange is on his way out. It's breaking news. Breaking news. Heard it from me first. It's Brad in sunny Manchester. Ange will not be here within. What are we on? Ange will not be here by the end of February.
Wow. Okay, so by the end of Feb, Ange Postecoglou is not going to be in charge of Tottenham. Who do they get?
I'd be surprised if it wasn't by the end of this month, but I'll give him till the end of Feb.
Who do they get? Okay, that's a different question.
Don't know, and to be honest with you, don't care. They're not going to win anything. Spurs again. Boring. Fans will never be happy anyway. They're always whinge, never happy. Jose got them to a final. Could have won it, but they sacked him the day before. I mean, the whole from top to bottom, they're a mess. Go and bloody sell out for a boxing venue or a concert or go-karting or NFL.
The more I think about that, Levy I feel like it was a petulant decision. I feel like with that, he was like, well, if I keep him in charge and he wins a trophy, then I can't sack him because it's like he's won a trophy. But if I get rid of him before that, then, you know, no, like I don't need to appease the fans, and there's no sort of reason. I've not got a reason against me to sack him. So really weird that, but I don't know.
There was all sorts flying around at the time as well about apparently it was something to do with a bonus clause that he got X amount if they won a trophy under him and stuff.
Then, like, what?
Honestly, mate, you just, it's beyond belief. But anyway, so they've had opportunity. They've been in Champions League finals. They're just Spursy, mate.
My question for you, sorry, just on that. Arsenal, if they finish this season trophyless, is Arteta, sort of a two-part question. Is it a failure, and does Arteta go?
Yes.
Straight up, yeah. Both?
Yeah, to both, yeah. Arteta's been in charge for 5 seasons now, or will be at the end of this season. It'll be 5 seasons. He's won 1 FA Cup with a team that wasn't his. That was when Aubameyang was still there. He got rid of Aubameyang and still hasn't replaced a striker. So 5 full seasons.
What do you mean, man? It's not Gabriel Jesus?
5 full seasons, yeah. Sterling. Cast-offs, man. Absolute City cast-offs. So you've got 5 seasons, and each season you've got 4 chances to win trophies. So you've had 20 opportunities at winning trophies in 5 years, and you've not taken one. Sorry.
Community Shields.
Oh, mate. So, all right, then. So if you look at it like that, so you've got 5, 20, you've got 25, and you can't include the FA Cup really because it wasn't his, but we'll include it. You've got 3 out of 25 chances of winning trophies. Sort it out, mate. So yeah, the Losers Cup, as the Charity Shield is known.
I mean, I think the question has to be asked now. Like, you know, managers want time and they want to. I heard him the other day sort of whinging about, you know, we haven't got the players at our disposal. I'm like, well, everybody on that pitch is your signing, mate.
You spent 800 million, bro.
You've been there so he's been there for 5 seasons now, 5 years.
5 years.
Which, you know, a lot of managers don't get that time anymore. You know, These modern day managers aren't getting 5 years. So it's like, what more can you do? What if, okay, so even if they finish second to a good Liverpool, and maybe say they get to a final of the Champions League but lose, you still think, nah. If they get to the final of the Champions League, is that worthy of another season for you? Or do you think it's going to keep rolling on, rolling?
Yeah, I do. I think if they finish second and they get to the final of the Champions League, which will not happen, by the way, they will not finish second. They will be nowhere near that final. I see them going out quarters at the very latest, if not last 16, once we pass this league stage. So, that I'd say that's okay. But the next season, you've got to win a trophy, right? Because
we said
there's no prizes for runner-up.
We said that last season?
Yeah, but Champions League finals are, you've done well to get there, mate. There's no two ways about that. It's the premier European competition, So, yeah, that comes with some credit in the bank.
Okay,
gives him one more season.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so, but I think questions have to be asked. I've already seen the Arsenal fan base. A lot of them have, I won't say turn on Arteta, because he's been there for a while, but they're getting a bit fed up now and a bit like, teams.
Okay. I've got a question for you as well.
Ooh, another question.
PSR, because you're in this group now that's got wealthy owners and like loads of cash in the bank and stuff, richest man in
top
Africa
5, baby, top
and
5.
all that. So, if tomorrow, I heard them ask it on the radio the other day, if tomorrow you could just scrap all PSR rules, Newcastle's, the cities, can just spend whatever they want, you'd see the likes of the Mbappes and, whoever else coming into the Bellinghams, coming into the Premier League. Would you let those floodgates open if you could just rip up the PSR rules?
No.
You wouldn't?
No, I have to say, and I think part of that comes down to as well the way that my club Villa are managed from the top, because I think we've managed to navigate PSR quite well, and I'm very happy and comfortable with those in charge doing the right thing for my club financially. We've not been any point deduction. If we were like a Leicester or Everton or Forest, and we were like dropping, getting threatened with this, threatened with that all the time, then I might have a different answer. But I think the way that we're being looked after as a club personally, I'm happy. I think it's one of these tedious things, a bit like VAR. It takes a while to embed a new process and for teams to understand how to navigate the space. And I actually quite like the fact that we're in January now. City have been crap this season, but they can't just go and blow, hundreds of millions on players. Newcastle to rectify. I do quite like that, and I have to be honest and say, yeah, that's how it should be in a way. Look, it annoyed me that we had to sell 2 of our star players last season, or one of our star players, Douglas Luiz and then Moussa Diaby. We got good money for them, but it was annoying. It's like we just qualified for Champions League, but then we're going to suffer because we've got to comply with PSR and also then comply with some Champions League financials as well. There was a double thing, but
done you no harm though. Look where you are in the league table.
Yeah, but because we've got competent people above who can navigate the space, so that's what gives me the confidence to say, actually, do you know what? If we can do that and we can sort of build and sort of stay in amongst it all, then that's fine. But I don't like the fact that other teams could then. I wouldn't want the likes of Mbappe and all this just coming in to rectify this and that. I think, the way it is at the minute, yes, it's been tough to understand and get my head around at times, but now that I'm sort of through it and I'm understanding it more, I do think it's better for the league, personally.
I agree, especially with the Saudis playing in here now, because however big you think your club is, they're bigger. And they could spend endlessly. They could just literally open floodgates and ruin football for us. So, agreed. Nice. That's probably a nice place to end, I'd say.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah. That was, I think it's Man United Southampton tonight, which you'll be watching, and then there's Ipswich and Brighton as well. And then we've got more games.
Weekend.
Arsenal Villa, mate. Jeez. Big one.
On the back of us, slapping from the boys in red. Come on, United. Come on.
Yeah. Who United got on the weekend? Just Puiga.
Brighton. And it's important, right? Because if we win tonight, we then go 12th. We take West Ham's spot. And then Brighton are just above us. So Ipswich play Brighton tonight.
Brighton dropped that low now? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they're like 11th. So I need Ipswich to do us a favour. Need them to beat Brighton tonight, to keep Brighton where they are. And then if we beat Brighton at the weekend, then we're even in the top 10. That's for the first time in months. Come on.
Just want to shout out Ipswich because they've just signed a winger from Villa, Philogene, who I rave about. He's a good player. didn't quite cut it at Villa because of just the system and just it's a big step up from the Championship. But under McKenna and at Ipswich, I think he'll do bits. So watch out for Jaden Philogene for Ipswich. If he plays tonight, I think he'll do some damage.
Deserves playing time as well. He's a decent player. He's one to watch.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that concludes our bumper New Year special episode. We will be back next week. I thank you for joining me, bro. And as always, everybody, pleased to brief you.
Been a pleasure.